History, the way we've been taught, is very limited to a time frame of maybe 6,000 years. The younger academics, I think, are starting to look at this and question what they've been taught. Nobody honestly knows who did the work. We simply know that it was an ancient civilization that had advanced technology. But again, academia is still trying to say that this relatively primitive culture built it, which is completely impossible.
Scientists recently discovered a prehistoric structure on an island, revealing a remarkable chapter in the annals of archaeology, complete with unexpected finds and enduring mysteries. These ancient megalithic temples of Malta, which predate both the pyramids of Egypt and Stonehenge, have captivated historians, archaeologists with their mysterious origins and sophisticated construction.
Very enigmatic, obviously left over from a time where advanced ancient technology existed.
The astonishing complexity of these structures suggests a level of technology that seems almost impossible for humans of that era, sparking intense curiosity and fascination about how such wonders were built. The first significant discovery of Malta's megalithic temples can be traced back to the early 19th century. In 1826, the Gantia temples on the island of Gozo were uncovered by local farmers who were clearing land for agriculture. The immense size of the stones and the unique structure of the site led to local legends attributing their construction to giants, hence the name Gantija, derived from the Maltese word for giant. This early discovery sparked the interest of scholars and adventurers, but it wasn't until later that systematic excavations began.
That's why I keep doing it, because I want to reveal the truth of this stuff to, the world in general.
In 1839, Father Manuel Magri, a Maltese Jesuit priest and an amateur archaeologist, initiated excavations at the Hagar Chim site. Magri's work, though not documented with modern precision, laid the groundwork for future archaeological efforts. His findings highlighted the sophistication of the temple builders, bringing to light intricately carved stone blocks and various artifacts. The most influential figure in the systematic study of these temples was Sir Temi Zamit, a Maltese archaeologist and the first director of the National Museum of Archaeology in Valletta. Beginning in the early 20th century, Zamit conducted extensive excavations at several temple sites, including Tarksien, Menajdra, and Hagar Kim. His meticulous work and detailed documentation significantly advanced the understanding of these ancient structures and preserved them for future generations. The excavation process was painstaking and required careful attention to detail to prevent damage to the fragile structures and artifacts. Early excavations often employed simple tools, such as shovels and picks, with laborers removing soil and debris by hand. As archaeological methods advanced, more sophisticated techniques, such as photogrammetry and three-dimensional laser scanning, were introduced to accurately document the temple's layouts and features. One of the most dramatic discoveries occurred in 1902 when workers quarrying for stone accidentally unearthed the hypogeum of Hal Saflieni.
It's a very complicated, incredibly enigmatic, mysterious place.
This subterranean complex, carved directly into the rock, revealed an intricate network of chambers and passageways, providing a unique glimpse into the spiritual and burial practices of Malta's ancient inhabitants. The hypogeum's discovery underscored the complexity and scale of Maltese megalithic architecture, with its multiple levels and finely carved interiors. From the outset, the discovery of Malta's megalithic temples was shrouded in mystery. The sheer age of the structures, some dating back to around 3,600 BCE, challenged existing notions about the capabilities of prehistoric societies. The temple's advanced construction techniques, featuring precisely cut stone blocks weighing up to 20 tons, suggested a level of technological and organizational sophistication that was previously unimaginable for such an early period. The architectural design of the temples, often incorporating a trefoil layout with central apses and altars, hinted at complex religious or social functions. Some temples, such as Menajdra, were aligned with astronomical events like the solstices and equinoxes, suggesting that the builders possessed a deep understanding of celestial movements.
They understood how to align things to north, south, east, and west, taking into account the solstices and equinoxes.
Excavations at the temple sites revealed a wealth of artifacts, providing valuable insights into the lives and beliefs of their builders. Among the most significant finds were the Fat Lady statues, stylized figures of women believed to represent deities. These statues discovered at sites like Tarxian and Hagar Kim. Other notable discoveries included altars, libation holes, and stone hearths, suggesting that the temples were centers for ritualistic activities. The Hypogeum of Hal Saflieni, in particular, yielded over 7,000 human remains, indicating its use as a burial site. The megalithic temples of Malta are remarkable for several reasons. Their construction predates the pyramids of Egypt and Stonehenge by over a millennium, positioning them among the earliest known examples of monumental architecture. The temple's sophisticated design, featuring corbelled roofs and intricately carved stone blocks, showcase an advanced level of engineering. The temple's layout often includes a central passage flanked by semicircular chambers, creating a trefoil design that is unique to Maltese architecture. This distinctive layout, combined with the presence of altars and libation holes, suggests that the temples served as places of worship most likely. The discovery of numerous figurines and carvings, including the famous sleeping lady from the Hypogeum, highlights the artistic and symbolic richness of the temple builders. These artifacts provide a window into the life of Malta's prehistoric inhabitants. The size and scale of the Maltese temples are awe-inspiring. For example, the Gantija temples feature outer walls constructed from massive limestone blocks, some measuring over 5 meters in length and weighing more than 20 tons. These colossal stones are comparable in weight to a full-grown African elephant or a modern-day construction truck. The interiors of the temples are equally impressive, with large apses and intricately constructed corbelled roofs. The craftsmanship required to create such structures using only primitive tools, or possibly advanced ancient technology, will be a mystery for now. The precise alignment of certain temples with astronomical events further shows their advanced understanding of celestial phenomena and their ability to incorporate this knowledge into their architectural designs. The discovery of the megalithic temples of Malta has led to a plethora of theories and speculations regarding their origins, purpose, and eventual abandonment. These ancient structures continue to intrigue researchers, offering glimpses into a long-lost civilization and raising questions that have yet to be fully answered. One of the most intriguing aspects of the Maltese temples is the question of who built them. Recent genetic studies have suggested that the temple builders were not direct ancestors of modern Maltese people, indicating that they may have been a distinct population with unique genetic traits. This discovery has led to various theories about their origins. One compelling hypothesis is that the builders came from nearby Sicily or other parts of the Mediterranean, bringing with them advanced knowledge of construction and agriculture. This theory is supported by the similarities in pottery styles and construction techniques found across the region. The genetic differences between the ancient temple builders and modern Maltese people raise further questions about the migrations and interactions of prehistoric populations in the Mediterranean. Equally mysterious is the sudden abandonment of the temples around 2500 BCE. Various theories have been proposed to explain this abrupt end. One theory suggests that environmental changes such as severe drought or soil depletion could have made the island less hospitable, forcing the inhabitants to leave. Another theory posits that social upheaval or external invasion might have led to the decline of this once thriving civilization. The lack of clear evidence leaves room for much speculation. Some researchers suggest that a catastrophic event, such as an earthquake or tsunami, might have played a role. Others believe that changes in religious or cultural practices could have led to the temples falling out of use. The sudden disappearance of the temple-building culture remains one of the most enduring mysteries of Maltese prehistory. The purpose of the megalithic temples remains one of the most debated topics among scholars. While it is widely accepted that they had a religious function, the exact nature of this function is still unclear. One theory proposes that the temples served as astronomical observatories. The alignment of certain temples with solar and lunar events suggests that they could have been used to mark the passage of time and the changing seasons, playing a crucial role in agricultural practices. This astronomical alignment would have required precise observations and a deep understanding of celestial movements. The temples of Malta share several intriguing similarities with other megalithic sites across Europe, such as Stonehenge and the Karnak stones in France. These coincidences have led some to speculate about a pan-European megalithic culture that shared knowledge and religious practices across vast distances. One particularly interesting theory is the idea that the temples were part of a prehistoric global grid of sacred sites, aligned according to geometric and astronomical principles. Proponents of this theory suggest that ancient builders had a profound understanding of the Earth's energies and constructed their temples to harness and amplify these forces. This theory, while speculative, highlights the potential interconnectedness of ancient cultures and their shared knowledge of astronomy and architecture. In addition to the main temple sites, several other significant discoveries have been made in Malta and Gozo. For example, the Zagra stone circle, also on Gozo, is an ancient burial complex that has yielded numerous human remains and artifacts, providing further evidence of the island's rich prehistoric culture. The stone circle's complex layout and the presence of burial chambers suggest that it played an important role in the ritual and social life of the ancient Maltese. The discovery of cart ruts, parallel grooves carved into the rock, across Malta and Gozo adds another layer of mystery. These ruts, whose purpose remains uncertain, have sparked various theories, ranging from transportation tracks to ceremonial pathways. The precise function and origin of these cart ruts continue to puzzle researchers, adding to the enigmatic nature of Malta's prehistoric.
And while we're on the subject of Southeast Asia, where something very interesting has recently rocked the world of archaeology. It's another Göbekli Tepe, if you like. It is a piece of hard evidence that is rewriting history. He says it's a strong case, but not an easy case. We're up against the world's belief.
Nan Madol, often dubbed the Venice of the Pacific, is a captivating archaeological site located off the southeast coast of Pohnpei in the Federated States of Micronesia. This complex of artificial islands linked by a network of canals stands as a testament to the engineering marvel of ancient Pacific Island civilization. The historical context and discovery of Nan Madol stretch through several phases, from early European documentation to extensive scientific studies, unraveling the mysteries of this mysterious site. The first known European to document Nan Madol was Fyodor Litka, a Russian navigator and explorer. During his 1828 voyage in the Pacific, part of a broader Russian initiative to explore and understand the region, Litka encountered the massive stone ruins on a series of artificial islets. He described them as an engineering feat unparalleled in the Pacific Islands. Nan Madol's location off Pohnpei made it a significant discovery, highlighting a site that reflected extensive knowledge and influence across the Pacific Ocean during that era. The real focus on Nan Madol's archaeological significance began with the German colonial administration's takeover of the Caroline Islands. This period marked the start of more focused archaeological attention directed toward the site. Throughout the 20th century, numerous archaeologists from various countries, including the United States, Japan, and local Micronesian scholars, conducted in-depth investigations. These efforts aimed to decode the secrets of the site's construction, its purpose, and the society that built it. Researchers delved into the architecture, artifacts, and human remains found across the approximately 92 artificial islets, seeking insights into the social structure, religious practices, and daily life of its past inhabitants. This detailed archaeological work, which began earnestly in the early 1900s, continues into the 21st century, striving to document and preserve this unique cultural heritage site and understand the development of complex societies in the Pacific. In recent years, the Japanese government has stepped in to assist financially with the preservation and study of Nan Madol, recognizing its regional heritage and historical significance. This contribution underscores the site's importance and aids in ongoing research and conservation efforts. Moreover, in 2016, Nan Madol was designated as a UNESCO World Heritage Site, bringing international attention and resources to its preservation efforts. This designation has been pivotal in enhancing the site's management and conservation, ensuring that Nan Madol remains preserved for future generations. The involvement of local scholars and the Pohnpeian community has been crucial in bridging the gap between past and present. Their knowledge of oral histories and traditional practices has enriched the archaeological data, providing a deeper understanding of Nan Madol's historical and cultural context. This local engagement not only supports scientific inquiry, but also ensures that the heritage of Nan Madol continues to be a living part of the community's identity and history. One of the most thought-provoking and mysterious aspects of Nan Madol is the legend surrounding its construction, particularly the origin story of the Sordeleur dynasty. According to local Pohnpeian folklore, the founders of Nan Madol were two brothers, Olosopa and Olosipa, who came from somewhere in the west or northwest, guided by a flying dragon. These brothers were not just ordinary men, but were skilled in sorcery and possessed the mystical ability to command spirits and elements. The brothers initially sought to build an altar on Pohnpei to worship Nanison, the god of agriculture, by using a massive floating stone brought from another island. After several failed attempts and the death of the elder brother Olosopa, the younger brother Olosipa succeeded in creating Nan Madol by magically flying in the huge basalt stones and commanding them to stack themselves. This narrative infuses the site with a deep mystical significance, suggesting that the city was more than a political and ceremonial center, but also a place imbued with supernatural power. This legend raises provocative questions about the intersection of mythology and technology in ancient societies. How did such stories influence the construction and organization of Nan Madol? Were these legends an attempt to rationalize the extraordinary engineering feats achieved with the resources and knowledge available at the time? Or do they point to something deeper? Building on our previous discussion of Nan Madol's history, it's equally fascinating to delve into the architectural and engineering feats that define this ancient marvel. Nan Madol's construction not only displays extraordinary prehistoric engineering prowess, but also aligns with the complexities seen in some of the most famous ancient sites worldwide. The design and execution demonstrate a sophisticated knowledge of architecture, logistics, and natural resource management that is impressive even by contemporary standards. The engineering challenges began with establishing a stable foundation directly on coral reefs, a challenging environment due to the soft, unstable substrate and exposure to tidal fluctuations. To overcome these challenges, builders constructed nearly 100 artificial islets across more than 200 acres, meticulously positioning huge stones on the shallow reef to withstand the forces of the ocean. The primary building material was columnar basalt, chosen for its natural, pillar-like formation. The largest of these stones could measure up to 7.5 meters in length and weigh up to 50 tons, roughly the equivalent of a fully loaded tractor-trailer or a large modern tank. The total volume of basalt and coral fill used in creating the islets is estimated to be in the hundreds of thousands of cubic meters. Transporting and positioning such immense volumes required not only significant labor but also precise planning. One of the site's greatest mysteries is how these massive basalt logs were moved several kilometers without the use of wheels, a technology not known to exist in prehistoric Micronesian cultures. An interesting theory suggests that the builders might have utilized the buoyant properties of bamboo rafts to float these massive stones across the lagoon, a method that would have alleviated weight issues and provided a feasible means to transport heavy loads across water. The construction of Nan Madol shares some intriguing parallels with other monumental projects like the Great Wall of China, which also required adapting construction techniques to challenging environments. Both the Great Wall and Nan Madol showcase the ingenuity of their respective builders in using available materials and innovative methods to overcome environmental challenges. Another fascinating theory about Nan Madol involves the potential use of a natural cement or geopolymer, similar to methods speculated to have been used in the construction of the Egyptian pyramids. While there is no direct evidence for this at Nan Madol, the precision fit of the stones suggests that some form of binding agent might have been employed to secure the structures against the forces of the tide. As previously mentioned, Nan Madol was meticulously planned as a series of approximately 100 artificial islets spread across more than 200 acres of a tidal lagoon. These islets were connected by a network of canals serving dual purposes. They facilitated transportation across the city and acted as defensive barriers against potential invaders. This strategic use of the aquatic environment for defense can be likened to ancient moated structures but executed on a far grander scale. Each islet was clearly differentiated by function, with distinct zones for the elite commoners and ceremonial activities. reflecting a highly stratified society, where social status dictated spatial occupation within the urban layout. The elite's residences were strategically placed to offer both privacy and protection, often located on the more central islets which were better defended and closer to the ceremonial centers. These areas featured larger structures and more elaborate basalt log constructions. The ceremonial islets, particularly those like Nan Madol, were the focal points of the city. Nan Madol itself is an engineering marvel, featuring walls over 8 meters high and 5 meters thick, constructed entirely from huge basalt logs. These logs were fitted together without mortar, relying on their massive weight and the puzzle-like fit of their hexagonal shapes to create stability. Nan Madol housed the tombs of the Sordala rulers, making it a key place of power and significance. The design of Nan Madol suggests that it served not only as a tomb area, but possibly also as a site for major ceremonial gatherings and the enactment of important rituals, which reinforced the rulers' divine status and their control over society. Comparing Nan Madol with other ancient constructions offers interesting insights. While the Egyptian pyramids were monumental sites built on solid land using a massive workforce and resources from a large centralized state, Nan Madol's construction required ingenious adaptations to a fluid and challenging marine environment. Yet, both sites demonstrate the capacity of ancient societies to mobilize and manage large-scale resources over generations. The strategic use of water in Nan Madol's design is also reminiscent of medieval European castles with moats, which used water as a natural defensive barrier to protect against sieges, albeit in very different contexts. The use of naturally hexagonal columnar basalt at Nan Madol not only facilitated the physical construction process, but also enhanced the structural integrity of the buildings. This choice of material and the method of construction likely contributed to the site's longevity, as these stones interlock naturally, creating a more resilient structure against natural elements, especially in a saltwater environment.